Monday and Tuesday, no exact transits happening, but we'll be feeling these ones that I'm mentioning slowly bubbling to the surface. On Wednesday, the 4th, we have Venus sextile Jupiter, which is awesome. We have a lot of really awesome transits happening this week. On Thursday, we have Mercury sextile Mars, and then later in the evening, like pretty late into the evening, almost in the morning on Friday, depending on where you're at on the globe, Venus enters Taurus, which is awesome. And then on Friday, we have Mercury sextile Chiron. And then on Sunday next week, Jupiter will conjunct Mercury. Well, Mercury will conjunct Jupiter because it moves quicker. And then Mercury enters Cancer. And then a little sneak peek for the following week is like the next day, Jupiter enters Cancer. So it's going to be a very interesting thing. I will be posting a full video on Jupiter entering Cancer on my YouTube to dive deeper into it. But yeah, I'm excited. This week just feels very supportive for integration, and that feels really important. It's almost, there's like pieces, especially with this Venus conjunct Chiron that's happening today. Like Venus has been going through it. She's kind of walked through. Oh yeah, then you're at the age where you are going through your Jupiter return, which is a really fun time. Like yeah, it usually brings in a lot of like just like serendipitous moments and blessings and sweet things. Man, I love Jupiter returns. Those are always freaking fire. So those happen every 12 years roughly. So depending. So yeah, I remember my Jupiter return. Actually, there was something that happened very significantly on that date, which was really cool. Okay. Let's get I'm going to get this. I got a new astrology program and I want to use it. So give me a second. Oh, I met my follower goal. Guys, I've been wanting 500 followers for a while. If I had continued streaming video games, I definitely would have had that by now, but I've swapped to this. So very okay, guys, my tiny little hairs. I honestly feel like I could cut bangs for myself, but I'm not going to. I would not. Thank you. Thanks, Jules. I appreciate it. I would love to stream more often. I just know that my bandwidth is like, I like to save my energy up for today of like actually like diving deep into things. Whoa, whoops, I accidentally just zoomed into this. Whoa, I can zoom into things in here. That is so freaking cool. This program is pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie. Thanks, Tinglet. Appreciate it. Gosh, these mosquito bites are gonna drive me crazy. Let me I want it to be, so the 5th. What day do I want? The 4th. The 4th? Yeah. So yeah, Venus. Okay. Yep. I'll be using my teacher tools because that's how I am. Cool. Okay. Here we are. This is the chart for the 4th. Okay. So we're looking at a Venus sextile Jupiter here. And so I'm going to use this bright green because it'll show up the best. And I want it to be aligned. So here, so the reason we can see that this is a sextile is this is 60 degrees. That's supposed to be a degree, but we'll just put a dot there. So Jupiter is at 28 degrees of Cancer or Gemini, and Venus is at 28 degrees of Aries. And I lost the chat, so I need to get you guys back up again. There you guys are. Cool. So this, oh, let me show it again. There we go. So what we have going on here with this sextile is it's a positive energy flow. It's actually really supportive, especially after Venus like moved over Chiron, and I don't have Chiron up in this application. I don't know how to add it, and I'm not going to dive into trying to figure it out in this program right now. That's for me another time. But so Venus shifting out of that conjunction to Chiron is going to bring in some clarity, and Jupiter's here to support it. So again, this is on Wednesday, the 4th. And so Jupiter has been in Gemini for the last year and is going to be moving into Cancer soon. So these final degrees of Gemini brings in this wisdom, which is really supportive as Venus is making contact with Jupiter. Yeah, it definitely feels very, very supportive. So like when you take fire and air, it brings a lot of energy forward, right? So the relationship between Aries and Gemini, it's really playful, actually. So this is kind of like a little bit of fire, a little bit of air. This brings in like charisma, big charisma energy. And so I have to break things down for you guys because that's just the way I find people learn a bit better. Jupiter is our planet of expansion. It's all about making things bigger and bolder, and just Jupiter is a very benevolent planet and wants things to expand and kind of just amplifies any energy. And so this is like Venus in Aries. If you didn't know, she's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of the from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you know, the little girl, she's like, I want this, I want that, I want this, and her dad's like, yes, I'll get you this and that and this and that, and it's like a whole thing that's happening. So that's kind of Venus and Aries. Like she's just kind of like, and I want this and I want that, and like nobody tell me no. And Jupiter is like here, like, tell me more. What else do you want? I'll figure it out. This can be a great day for like pitching things or flirting or very like artistic projects as well. It's like adding a sort of creative. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Yeah, so it's bringing this sort of lightness here, which is really exciting and fun. So this can be a great day. I see anybody who likes to use like words of affirmation, or you enjoy writing or creating through words. This is definitely supported here. This, from an evolutionary aspect, my advice is to like let yourself be seen in unfiltered joy and just like let yourself play and have fun. Say the thing, chase the spark. That's the sort of energy that's coming up here with Venus sextile Jupiter. Expressing words through love, flirting plus Pride Month. Yes. Yeah, definitely. There's like a lot of opportunity here. And it just feels like a great day to just let yourself play unapologetically. Yeah, courageous connections too is something I'm feeling as well, because Jupiter's like, this is very like shoot your shot energy. Like, why not? You know? And it's not for the specific outcome of something happening. It's for the energy of actually just connecting, because Jupiter is all about connection and conversation and creativity, and Venus here, she's just bold. So keep teasing anything. Got it. Yeah. Oh, capital anything. Got it. Yeah, sure. Definitely. I'm so glad I don't have the chat up on this screen, so people will have no idea what's happening if they watch the replay on YouTube. So this is fun. Let's go ahead and oh, another bird just flew by. I was like, please don't come in. Okay, so let's jump ahead to the 5th, which is where we have Mercury is going to be sextiling Mars. So I want to show you guys real quick. Look at Mercury here. So Mercury is right here, and you'll see when I go just a day ahead, Mercury's already jumping 2 degrees ahead. And then I want you guys to notice the moon as well. The moon spends only 2.5 days in each sign, so we can just see the movements here as we skip ahead each days. You know, you'll notice planets moving quick. Certain planets. Mercury moves very, very quick, and so we have Mercury sextile Mars. So again, sextile is that 60-degree energy, and you'll see the line is here already. It shows you the sextile that's happening here. And Mars is at 23 degrees and Mercury is at 23 degrees also. This is more really great energy. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was looking, there's a lot of sextiles happening this week, which is really awesome. So this can be essentially Mars here is our will, our drive, our passion, our desire to move forward. Mercury is here to communicate those things. And so with Mercury at home in Gemini, it's already like pretty amplified. It's already yapping. And I have a feeling a lot of your guys' thoughts are moving quickly too. My mom's dog's barking and it's really distracting. Makes me queasy. Commercial break. Harmony! Aren't you supposed to be doing readings? What are you doing here? Wow. No one's coming in? Oh no. Go outside and do a little dance with your sign. I think people will come in then. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. I would cry doing that. So this sextile that's happening on the 5th, again, it just feels like you will someday, guys. These baby hairs. Hey, Juliana, welcome. Everybody's hanging out here, it seems like. Let me fix my hair. Gosh. So I love this because I can like zoom in. This application's so cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, to chat. Yeah, you have to have accounts, etc. and everything. But yeah, it keeps from, and I have like an auto mod and everything too, because I'm like, I've had some not fun things happen streaming video games. Yeah. So this, I want to say like, this feels like playing with fire in a good way. It's like I'm getting like the imagery of like a little kid having like a little sparkler, you know, just running around with pure joy and wanting to tell everybody about it. Like, look at my light, look how cool it is. So there's a sort of spark to words here on the 5th that's happening. You could be kind of talking a lot faster here too. This is, again, like, man, honestly, the energy of this week is just very supportive of like speaking things into existence. And I know last week was feeling like that as well, but this has like more of a softness to it. And there's a lot of fire support as well. Yeah, no, honestly, June is such a good month. This month is really exciting for astrology. This brings in a playfulness and a lighthearted energy to our communication. And it's like, I get such like visuals when I think of different things. I'm seeing just like, if I were to have the embodied, like, I have Mercury and Gemini in my head, and then I have Mars and Leo in my head, and I'm like, how would they play together? Like, how would they interact? Like, what would that look like? And it's like a lot of like theater is coming to mind, of like performative art and like being dramatic, but in a fun way and a harmless way. this is a good day for like learning and teaching as well. There's a lot of like good creative banter with this specifically happening. And then literally like a couple like hours later, Venus, well, as you can see, the chart's rotating. Let's get to here. It's going to be pretty late. Yeah, I knew it was like later. Venus enters Taurus pretty late in the day. Like I said, for depending on where you're at on the East Coast, it's going to be the morning of the 6th. And this is wonderful, guys. This is wonderful because Venus is at home in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Like, this is just delicious energy. And I'm not biased at all because I'm a Taurus. No, that like has nothing to do with it. But okay, maybe a little biased. Yeah, but it's gonna be just finally, I feel like Venus has just been through the frickin' trenches the last couple months. We've gone through a Venus retrograde during an eclipse season, and then we just had today we're having Venus conjunct Chiron, and so it's like, whoo. And so now Venus on the 5th going into the 6th is entering Taurus, which brings in such a grounded and stable presence within love. And I love everything that you guys are saying in the chat, and I'm gonna read it out loud because the replay people aren't gonna be able to see this. Yeah, welcoming the summer of love in all forms. Yes. Moon's in Taurus. I'm going to be so happy. Yeah, literally feel so good about the summer. Yes, literally Venus in Taurus, and then Jupiter moves into Cancer next week. Oh no, a commercial. Guys, that's how I make money. I think I just need to turn the ads off. I make like 2 cents on them. If I had like a bunch of people watching, it'd be a whole different thing, but so silly. I think there's a thing too with creative mode. Something I've been really playing with just based off of what you were saying, B, and I'm going to call you B in the chat just to protect, you know, you and all of it, is what does creativity look like from a feminine way? And a feminine way means like not forcing it and not judging like how it comes out. Because from a masculine way of creativity, it's almost like creating for others. And I encourage you to create for yourself. That's something that's really helped me. Oh. Okay, I think I turned them off. Yeah, I think I turned them off too. I think I did. I hope that I did. I'm sorry, guys. I honestly just need, because I'm not streaming enough. I don't have enough viewership for that to even really matter. So I think I turned them off. I don't know if it automatically updates, but I was talking to B. I'm just going to call you B in the chat because I just want to keep your identity secure. Is like with creativity, it's like, especially with Venus and Jupiter moving into feminine signs as we go forward, I would love to invite people to look at creativity in a feminine way, which is creativity for you. It's what fills you up, what makes you feel good, instead of creating for others. Because creating for an external, that moves in a bit of a masculine way, but it's like finding a flow between the two. it's easier said than done, but it's like I like to share about like me creating the TikTok account that most of y'all found me on. It was just for me, and it still is. Like, it is still a way and a modality for me to use my voice in a way that like I'm learning about myself. I'm articulating in different ways. I'm challenging myself to try different things, and just like I've found that I really like speaking. I used to be a writer mostly, like writing was always my favorite form of communication, but I found that I really like speaking, and my voice has changed significantly as far as my ability to articulate my thoughts. But it's like it took challenging myself to like find other creative forms. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it makes me think of this one card that we pulled during a moon circle that we were having. I think it was the first one we did back in the Discord. Positive aspect of masculine creativity. I think it reminds me of this Leo energy in general. Mars in Leo right now is like performing for others, and like to evoke joy in others through you embodying your authenticity. Like, I think of like comedians, I think of like actors and actresses. Like, that is a masculine way of being creative, because it's being viewed and absorbed and with the intention of impacting other people. And you may still do something in a feminine way for yourself that does have an impact on people, but it's not from the, I guess, it's not from the way of extracting from other people or looking for a sense of validation outside of yourself. It's like being secure within yourself. So I guess removing the modalities of masculine and feminine. I say those things because masculine is energy going outwards and feminine is energy going inwards. And we have both within us. In astrology, masculine and feminine energies are very present. And we've got a lot of our outer planets are actually moving into masculine signs, and it's going to be freaking fun and wild for our society. But I don't even know if I fully answered that for you, Jules, but I feel like they come hand in hand and they work together. B, what's your rising sign? Or at least what house is that stellium in? I'd look at your chart now, but I don't know which monitor it's going to pop up on, and I'm sharing my screen, so I don't want to. Because it depends on what house it's in, too. Yeah. Your moon's at the cusp of being Leo. Oh, Cancer rising. Okay. Oh, that puts it... Hold on, I'm gonna go here real quick. So I can look at... Oh. Okay. Well, all of this is mostly in the... Well, your sun's in the second house, and then Mars and Mercury are in the third. But your sun and Mars are opposing Neptune, which is going to subdue that energy to water it down in a certain way, and then also being a Cancer rising. So, yeah, I think there's a level of discernment you have to have with what performing or like having that fiery, it looks different for you. B, it looks different for you because of the houses it's in. It's not gonna be strictly just Leo energy. But let me give me the chat back. There we go. Yeah, Scorpio rising, Cancer, and moon's on the cusp of being Leo. Yeah. Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good. You're good. I was just trying to place where her Leo placements were in my mind, but I just ended up looking at her chart. So reeling us back into Venus moving into Taurus, this gives us the opportunity to ground in these lessons that Venus has been going through. Like, it really, oh gosh, it really feels like it's almost like arriving in your body with these lessons. Again, like I said, Venus has been going through the ringer, like, since February of this year. She went through the eclipses and then retrograded, and then like, oh, no. This is a conversation. When I'm streaming, I'm here to answer questions. And if we sidebar, we sidebar. And that's like, that's what I do. Yeah, I think it's really important for people to understand. And that's the thing with astrology. For those of you watching on YouTube, or if you're watching the recap, we're having a little bit more of a conversation. You guys also can jump back to Twitch if you guys want to watch and see the conversation. Yeah. So when we're looking at your natal charts, like, you have to understand that it's layered. And then there's planets aspecting other planets. And then if we look at the ruler of your chart, your Cancer, I know we have a couple of Cancer risings here, you're ruled by the moon. So your moon's maybe a little bit more stronger than your sun sign. And a Cancer rising with a Leo sun, like, those energies are gonna really have a moment with each other. It's not gonna express the way that you would traditionally think Leo energy is gonna express. Yeah, so that's just a little sidebar. What else do I want to say about Venus and Taurus? Hell yeah, Leah. Yeah, I love reading people's charts. Like, I had a couple of great readings. All of them are always great. A couple of great readings last week. And it's just always so affirming. And I love, and it's interesting because Harmony, how you were mentioning with your, I'm going to go back to chatting and we'll jump to the charts because I just want to chat. Like, there's this thing that happens, like, when I'm reading people's charts where it just all kind of like adds up and people are like, oh, this makes so much sense. And there was a point I was trying to make with this. Where was it? Oh, I only read only specific people's charts. Like, I have a specific criteria for the clients that I take. Like, you have to actually know yourself. Like, there's a few people that I will take that are pretty new to understanding self-development, but at a certain degree, you have to like be able to take ownership of yourselves. Yeah, I'm so excited to read Tanglet's chart. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. I'm going to make him leave a Yelp review. And if it's not a good one, we're kicking him from the Discord. I'm just kidding. I'm genuinely kidding. Sometimes I realize my humor can be a little harsh. Yeah, it's a level of discernment. And I learned this from my mentor, who is an astrologer. Like, I'll have people that'll ask for chart readings all the time, and it's why, I have a certain threshold, and like, I will turn people away. Like, if I read, I'll give a refund. If like I read what they're looking for, if they're looking for like, I just want answers to my future, I'm like, this is not about this. And so I'm actually going to be like getting more specific as I continue to build my business, like, on what that looks like. Yeah, it's you have to have a level of like, I'm not like, one of my grandma's friends emailed me and wants a reading from me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, honey, I don't think you're my target demographic. Not that I don't want to read older people's charts. Older people actually tend to not have their birth time, which makes it really hard to be accurate with their reading, because the birth time is so important. And then also, it's like, she doesn't really know herself, so. All right, prepared to be shocked, because I will. Little sidebar, another sidebar to this sidebar. I was helping my mom and with some work this week, and one of our friends was there, and he and I worked with each other like a couple years ago, and I was talking about his chart, and I had just said some out of the box shit about him to his face from his chart, and he was just like, how the hell? And even like us talking again the last couple days, he was like, I still, like, I don't believe in astrology, but I still think about it because you said these things that I've never told anybody about because you saw my chart. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. And so for those of you who are in the Discord, in Films and Videos, that channel, I shared a video about, and this is going to be helpful for those of you who are readers or hold space or have clients. It's a video on like how to handle things like that. It's really, really powerful. When I was listening to it, it made sense, because like understanding people's body language and how to move through, like, you know, if people get defensive or hurt, or like a trigger comes up from them because of how you said things. So it's trauma informed, like space holding essentially. So okay guys, let's get back to the astrology of this week. Somebody please send healing to me, because I'm dying. I'm not actually, I feel perfectly fine. Today's the first day I woke up and felt regular. Barely, but okay. Venus and Taurus, my last little thing about her being here is it's essentially going to help us ground these lessons in and allow us to, like, I keep burping because my drink, sorry guys. Even just settling into the energy of Venus and Taurus has my body completely relaxed. And it's like, think somatic healing, think embodiment practices, think feet on the ground. It's just gonna, like, the image I was seeing is like, it's almost like we're finally returning to our body again, and like settling in. Yeah, literally. Venus in Taurus, Venus in Libra, Venus in Pisces, yes please. Venus in Cancer, yes please. Yeah, I love all those. Like, it just feels really healing. I'm seeing like more intentionality of like how we take care of our bodies. Like, I'm going to say like some good practices that can be helpful, like dry brushing your body, that helps move energy, and also helps what is it? There's like a specific thing. Helps like break up what are the, I can't think of it, whatever. Dry brushing. How long is Venus in Taurus? It's gonna be about a month. Let me look up the exact dates. Venus in Taurus dates. This is so funny. Again, another reason to not trust the AI overview that happens on frickin' Google, because it just literally said like all the dates wrong. So bad. So we'll move in on actually July 4th. We'll move, so it's from June 1st to July 3rd, and then July 4th we'll move. So we've got a month of Venus and Taurus, which is going to be great. Yeah, guys, you guys got to use your discernment if you guys use AI for astrology stuff. Just be very, very cautious, and then always check in with me for exact things. But this is just such a good, embodiment, somatic healing. Embodiment, I'm definitely feeling like a desire to do more embodiment work and like guide people through that. All this Gemini energy is in my 10th house right now, everybody. So I'm like business oriented and like building things, and like there's so many ideas I have, so I need to really rein it in and like actually start doing the thing. So more to come. Okay, let's take a look at the calendar again. Okay, what day do I want to look at? Okay, on the 6th, let's look for, I want to go back a couple hours on the 5th. And then let's move forward a day here. And then we have Mercury, sextile Chiron. And Chiron's not in here, but Chiron is at 25 degrees of Aries. So we're going to kind of just draw a little smiley face here. This is Chiron. Hold on. My mom's dog just keeps barking and I don't like it. So that's Chiron. We're going to pretend that's Chiron. And so we have Mercury sextile Chiron, because I can't. Fair harmony. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. It's like I want to like tap into your guys' brains. I'm Mercury ruled, so I feel very like I understand the Gemini energy, but Gemini in the 10th house, I'm like, what am I doing here? What's actually happening? So, when we look at this sextile here, it's pretty supportive so I mentioned Chiron a little bit at the start here. Again, Chiron is the wounded healer. It's in Aries right now, and it's really challenging us to get closer to our identity and ourself. And it's been in Aries for a while. It's been in there for a couple years. Yeah. With the sextile to Mercury, this is like bringing in healing words. Like what you say is medicine. This brings in cutting through shame, cutting through mental thought processes that aren't serving. Yes. Is it good for me that Mercury is in Gemini 5? So Mercury's going to be moving out of Gemini pretty soon, like literally in a couple of days. So yes, it has probably been good. It's been good. I mean, it's supportive right now with the sun in Gemini. It depends on the degrees, but it's definitely a supportive energy for sure. With this sextile on the 6th happening between Mercury and Chiron, there's a sort of level of curiosity that comes in here around our pain. Like, how can our curiosity open doorways into our pain? Instead of it's almost like I'm feeling us like shifting our perspective. I think I mentioned this in a reading I did a couple days ago, but it's like, like holographic cards. It's just like the slight shift or angle allows you to see an entirely different picture. And this is what this is feeling like for me, is like the ability to shift your perspective and your mind enough to actually see into a wound around your identity. Ooh. I just applied it to my chart and I'm like, so once you guys become astrology masters, you guys will be able to do the same thing. There's like this sort of prompt that happens here of like, what are you afraid to say out loud? And what would happen if you said it? And like recognizing like where maybe the story in your mind is a lot bigger than the actual reality of doing things. It's making me think of the rejection challenge, where you like do things that you might get a no from, but you might get a yes. Like I remember seeing a video of a girl like trying this where she asked if she could like shadow somebody at a zoo, and like I think the guy wanted to say yes, but he had to ask his boss and they were like, no, but like they then like showed her other cool things, but it's like getting used, like comfortable with no's, especially if you have like a rejection wound. Like this can be helpful. That's just coming to mind with this as well. this is a good time for like journaling and like talk therapy too. So even like just talking to friends, or if you have a therapist, meeting with them on the 6th might be really supportive and be able to touch deeper into some wounds around identity. Guys, I have Cat's Eye, their song Gnarly stuck in my head, so that's what's playing. Right. But no risk, no reward. You know, you got to put your skin in the game. Otherwise, you're just still controlling the narrative. To iterate to people, it's B just said vulnerability is easy for me when I feel like I'm not taking a risk. And it's like, yeah, duh. That means you have nothing to lose. But that's what allows growth, is sort of those things where it's almost like, you know, putting your chips. I've never gambled, but I'm thinking about it. Like, you know, you put more chips on the table. It's a risk, you know? I hate gambling. I think gambling is very stupid, because like, why would I gamble if I could just work a consistent job and make consistent money? But I guess technically I'm gambling with starting my own business. So no risk, no reward. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. It'd be easy. Yeah. It's one of those things, and I'm wrestling with, like, I have massive control issues. Hi, I'm a Virgo rising. So I get that, where it's just like, well, if I can control the narrative and like the level of vulnerability that I'm comfortable with, then it's totally fine. Like, it's easy. But as soon as somebody touches something tender or sensitive in me, how can I show up still? And how can I still allow myself to feel safe in myself to share? We don't have any transits happening directly on Saturday, but on Sunday, the 8th, Mercury, technically, let's move back here. This is a very, very interesting one. Not day. Hour? Yeah. So we will have Mercury conjunct Jupiter at the final degrees of Gemini. Whoa. Whoa. That's crazy, dog. Let me explain. So this is really, really cool. This is cool because of the fact that, like, words. I can use words. The final degree of any sign is sort of like the mastery degree. It allows a sort of, like, if you could have a Gemini fully mastered in their energy, that's the 29th degree. And so that's somebody who is deeply wise, has the ability to listen, and have active listening skills, but also the ability to channel and like connect and like say what needs to be said. And then we have the planet of communication here, and then we have Jupiter here. So this is like really, really powerful. This is like massive emotional intelligence, intuitive communication coming in, as well as, I want to say, like, inner child expression, right? This brings in this, like, it's fun. It's almost like what's coming up for me is, you know how like kids will say something so deeply profound and you're like, how do you know that? Like, how does a child know this level of intuition or knowledge, or just like, they'll just say something wise and you're like, huh? And then you're baffled, and then they go on to, like, you know, playing out in the grass, and they're just like, yep, they just dropped some knowledge on you, and then you continued on with their day. This is like mental breakthroughs, storytelling. There's also like expanded vision happening here. Yeah. That's why I love working with kids. They are brutally honest. And if you can't handle that, you should not work with kids. I loved it. It's very humbling, to say the least. This is like kind of the culmination of Gemini energy that's coming to peak here, because they're both going to move into Cancer after this day, or day and a half. So this is like the day to use words as magic, the day to speak your intentions out loud. Like, that's something I've been really challenging myself to doing. I took Tanglet's advice, and like I've been going on walks in the morning, and and it's as soon as I get up, I'm not touching my devices. I'm not doing anything. I'm just walking outside. And as I've been walking, I've been speaking things. I've just been saying things out loud, just saying gratitude, etc. And this day specifically, again, this is on Sunday, so a week from now, it's the 8th. This is like speak your vision like into being sort of moment, right? And you guys see me looking, that's where the chart is off on the side. It's kind of cool because it looks like I'm like looking at it like off to the, this is a sort of thing where like speaking to people might have opportunities that might be bigger than you actually anticipated, right? There's Jupiter can do a thing where it's kind of like a pretty big grandiose energy. So like have discernment for things that are saying. And it kind of reminds me of like tarot readers on your For You page that are like, your next big thing's coming. Like, if this landed on your For You page, this is for you. And it's like, and a lot of people get sucked into those like positivity traps. This kind of can feel like this. So there's a level of like knowing yourself with this and like having discernment of like what energies are true and what are just like, this is just Jupiter inflation, just kind of like, yay, everything's good. So there's this need for integration here, and it's going to be really supportive because we've got Mercury in Taurus, or not Mercury, Venus in Taurus, which can help us with grounding this energy. So anchor your insight with action. Use that Mars in Leo energy as well. Don't just talk about things. Write it down. Share it. This is a great opportunity for like share some of the things that you're dreaming about or you're wanting to bring into vision in community spaces, whether it's my community space or other community spaces that you're in. So like allow containers to hold you accountable, especially as these things shift into Cancer, which is like the need for containers, for spaces, for nurturing, right? And then later in the day, we have Mercury moves into Cancer. So this is a whole different feeling, especially for my Mercury ruled people. Mercury moves into Cancer. So this again brings in a level of intuition. This brings in more connection to that inner child. Like I said, there's the curiosity. And now as it moves into Cancer, it creates this emotional depth, right? It's going to be a very interesting shift next week, like when we actually really feel this with Mercury moving into Cancer, and then a few days later, Jupiter moving into Cancer. It's going to be like this, like slowing in it's like emotional receptivity is happening here. So this is like with Mercury in Cancer, it's communicating your feelings. It's actually being able to have a little bit more. It's almost like Mercury moves from like the throat into the heart. And so there's a ability to speak from the heart with Mercury here. Cancer energy brings in a layer of nurturing, of familial sort of ties. So noticing where Cancer is in your chart and where this is going to be transiting for you is important. It feels good. It kind of feels like communication is softening here, where it's a little bit more tender, but there's a thing with Cancer energy where Cancers can tend to be pretty guarded until you get past that shell and their claws, you know? Like once you get past those tough layers, it's very, very tender. So there's a sort of feeling of, on the outer surface, people's communication can be a little bit more secure, a little bit more guarded, until they soften, until they feel safe to share with you. So you may be feeling those same sort of threads of energy as well. So it's like this need to go and internally reflect before sharing. So there's a little bit of a slower pace with communication as it shifts into Cancer here. And yeah, that's the astrology for the week, which is, again, like a little recap. We have Venus sextile Jupiter on Wednesday. We have Mercury sextile Mars on Thursday, with Venus moving into Taurus. On Friday, we have Mercury sextile Chiron. And then Sunday, the day that we see right here, we have Mercury will conjunct Jupiter right before moving into Cancer. And then on Monday, Jupiter will be moving into Cancer, and I'll have a full video of that on my YouTube.